Hi guys, so we've changed location. We're hanging out in my garden tonight. I'd love to say that's because it's beautiful. It's not, just because my house is really noisy and I'm sick to death of telling them to shut up. So I thought I'd come out here. I have, however, bought my wine. What else would you do on a Saturday night? I absolutely decided it was essential, so it's here. Tonight's video. I have been trying to record it for a couple of days. I've really struggled. I've tried to be funny. I've tried to be human. I've tried to get it right. It's not come easy. However, I feel like it's really important that I say this. When I started doing these videos, it was A, persuaded by somebody else, and B, designed to help us with our kids and to help us get through lockdown and to help us kind of realise that a lot of the stuff that we deal with is stuff that we all deal with. I really didn't ever want to be in a position where I was airing dirty laundry or having any kind of drama explained because I'm allergic to it. I hate it. However, this week something happened and I think it's really important that I discuss it because it's something that is a passion of mine and something that I work with a lot with my families and something that has affected every single woman I know. And the only way it's ever going to be changed and that situation is ever going to be made different is if women like me stand up and go, actually, I'm not all right with this, knock it off. So, when I was younger, I will never forget, I worked for a sales company and a guy there used to send me pictures of his peen. I would never know when they were coming. They'd just turn up out of the blue, and this was before it was easy to block people's phone numbers. And I never told anybody. I never told my boss. I never made a thing of it because I knew it wasn't a good idea. I was a female in a male-dominated environment. I wasn't popular, and I wasn't beautiful. I probably wouldn't have been believed. So I knew that it was best just to never address it. I never spoke to him about it, and I never spoke to anybody else about it. And over the years, I've kind of looked back at that and I thought, why didn't you say something? It wasn't okay. You weren't comfortable with it and you hadn't invited it. What I've realised is that trend to send inappropriate content to bombard women has gotten worse. The invention of social media and of digital has meant that it happens more and more often. And there's a real tendency in women of an older age, actually. Younger women are better at dealing with this than we are. But as women of an older age, we still have that tendency that we've inherited from our youths of going, let's just ignore it. Let's not say anything. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to cause a fuss. Maybe I did something. Why is that relevant now? I'm 38. Shouldn't be an issue. Well, you'd think not, wouldn't you? But it has been an issue. I get loads of stuff sent to my inbox for Instagram. I kind of just laugh it off. I don't know them. It's not really about me. I let it go. This week something happened that touched a bit of a nerve in a different way. There is a guy, I'm not going to call him a man because he's not, and I'm not certainly going to call him a gentleman because he's definitely not one of those, at my son's school. I've always known to keep my distance a little bit. I wouldn't call him a friend. I'm courteous. He started messaging me a little while ago, privately. At first I was a little bit polite, and then he sent me something that was inappropriate, telling me I was beautiful a few weeks ago, which was creepy, but it wasn't outrageously offensive. I just ignored it. I thought, exactly the same way I would have done when I was a kid. I was like, I'm just not going to encourage this. It's probably the best way to make it stop. And then in the middle of the week, I posted something that I'd seen on a TV programme, and it was quite late at night, and he sent me a very explicit message to my Facebook inbox, a very, very sexually explicit message. I'm not going to read it out. I did consider it because it makes me cringe, to be honest with you. I was a bit shocked at first. I showed my husband, who was like, whoa. And then I slept on it. And it's really interesting, and it's why I wanted to bring this up. What was interesting was my reaction. The fact that he did it is by the way. My reaction to it is what was interesting, because I instantly made that my fault. I instantly went into protective mode. What did I do to make him think that he could send me that stuff? What if other people think that that's who I am? Am I putting stuff on my Facebook that suggests that I'm open to and willing to receiving that sort of level of explicit content? Is that how other people see me? Maybe I'm too friendly. I'm a huge flirt. And I started this video initially, the first versions were of me defending myself, going, I know I'm a huge flirt. I am a huge flirt, but that's not the point. It was never about me. there are people who will go, well, if you flirt with one person, I certainly didn't flirt with this person, let me tell you. And I flirt with people with whom it's safe to flirt with whom there is no kind of chemistry going on there. It's banter as much as anything else. I've had men in my life for my whole life. Most of my friends up until my 30s were male. I'm very bantery. I'm never disrespectful. I never cross the line. And if I get a sense that anyone is uncomfortable, I instantly back off. It's not the same thing. And even if it was the same thing, I certainly hadn't done it with this guy, and I didn't send him an invite saying, please, send me sexually explicit, extremely offensive text messages late at night. I really enjoy it. And that's the issue that I have with it, is I made it about me. And then I spoke to my friends. I thought that maybe I was being a bit oversensitive. I thought maybe, it's not that big a deal, is it? And then I sent it to a number of friends, different types of friends as well. So I've got friends who are maybe a little bit more restrained, shall we say, and more likely to be offended. And I've got friends who are probably closer to my end of the spectrum, which is where you could pretty much chuck a penis in my face and I'd just go, it's a penis. For me to be offended, it has to be pretty bad, and this was pretty bad. Every single one of them, without fail, said, that is outrageously offensive and disgusting. It makes my skin crawl. It makes me feel sick. It is hideous. And that's when I started to realise it was okay for me to feel like I did. I needed other women to say, actually, it's okay for you to feel, I want to say violated, probably is the right word. It was a disgusting experience, and it wasn't something that I did that caused it, and it was really hard for me to get my head around that. My next step was to block him. That's been done. And then I did nothing, and I was like, well, that'll probably make it go away, won't it? But it hasn't stopped me feeling uncomfortable. I'm going to have to see this guy at school dues and at the school gate, and why should I have to feel uncomfortable about that? Because he's a dick. So I suppose the reason I've decided to do this video is, I'm not going to name him, it's not appropriate. I decided not to tell his wife because I didn't want to hurt her. She hasn't done anything wrong. I'm talking to every woman, because guys, if you're watching this, every single female that you know knows exactly what I'm talking about. We really need to let men know that this isn't okay, and not be scared of doing that. When I did that video a couple of weeks ago where I said, teach your daughters not to be nice, it's okay not to be nice. We need to still absorb that message ourselves. I don't want to be nice. We need to be that bitch who, in the world of my favourite Lizzo, doesn't take any shit. It's not okay for some guy to see my Facebook profile, and because I'm friendly and because I'm open, think that it's all right to send me sexual content. To my knowledge, he hasn't sent it to anybody else, but I guarantee when this goes out, I will get at least one. Every single woman watching this right now knows how uncomfortable what I went through that night is, because every single woman I know, and has had that experience, from the boss who sends inappropriate text, to the guy who pushes up against you on the tube, to someone who maybe has innocent feelings for you but takes it a little bit too far. It's endemic, and we've always tried to minimise it by saying, oh, it's my fault, or oh, I don't want to make a fuss, or people will think I'm making a drama of it, or people will think I encouraged it. That was my biggest fear, and it still is a little bit, that people will think that I've done something to encourage that. The only thing I could have done to encourage that is give him permission, and I certainly didn't fucking do that. It is not okay, and you are quite within your rights to say, it's not okay. Tonight, this week, next week, whenever, talk to your daughters, talk to your husbands, talk to your sons, talk to your brothers, tell them your experiences of this. It's only by sharing it and saying, actually, it made me feel cheap. It made me feel like maybe I'm the sort of woman that other men think is okay to do that with. It made me feel uncomfortable. It made me feel like I couldn't go places where I wanted to. It made me feel like I had to put up with a boss who was disgusting. It made me feel like I had no power. Give them permission to take their power back. Take that power back yourself. It's okay. We don't have to be nice when someone steps over our boundaries so royally. It's not your fault. In the same way that this is not something I've ever invited, ever. Richard Armitage, if you're watching, feel free to objectify me as much as you like. Everybody else, fuck right off. I would never tolerate that. The only thing I'm attracted to comes from up here. Nothing that cheap and vile would ever get anywhere near me anyway. Be honest with the people around you. And if you need to kick up a fuss to make it stop, to make someone realise that you are not going to tolerate being spoken to like that it is not okay to treat you with such little respect, then make a damn fuss. You are entitled to. It's fine. You don't have to be nice. In this situation, you don't have to be nice to anyone who treats you with so little respect. And if you're watching this, guy who did this, you know exactly who you are. Go fuck yourself. And don't ever speak to me or any other woman like that again. It's disgusting. And it certainly isn't attractive. I'll see you later, guys.